I used a mouse jiggler to fake working. Then my webcam turned on by itself. The pounding on my front door wasn't a polite knock, it was a rhythmic, demand for entry thud that vibrated through the floorboards of my apartment and rattled the empty Red Bull cans on my nightstand. I wiped a string of drool from my chin, squinting at the aggressive afternoon sunlight slicing through the blinds, trying to remember what day it was, or even what year it was. My heart was doing that frantic, stuttering flutter it does when you wake up from a nap that went 3 hours too long, leaving you dehydrated and disoriented in a dimension of pure panic. I rolled off the couch, my back cracking like a glow stick, and stumbled toward the hallway. Robert. Asset recovery. Open the door, a voice boomed from the other side. Asset recovery. My brain, still foggy with sleep and the lingering haze of a 4 a.m. gaming session, couldn't process the words. I looked down at my watch. It was 3:15 p.m. Tuesday. I was supposed to be working. I spun around and looked at my desk in the corner of the living room. My sanctuary. My fortress of solitude. The dual monitors were glowing with a harsh, white light that illuminated the dust motes dancing in the air. And sitting right there, next to my mechanical keyboard, was the device that was supposed to save my life but had apparently just ended it. The V5 mechanical mouse jiggler. A beautiful, $30 piece of plastic I bought off Amazon that physically nudges the mouse every 30 seconds to keep my Microsoft Teams status set to a comforting, employable, available. But something was wrong. The mouse wasn't jiggling. And the little green light next to my webcam, the one that only turns on when the camera is active, was burning with a steady, unblinking emerald glare. I froze. I hadn't turned the camera on. I hadn't joined a meeting. I was asleep. Robert, a voice said. It didn't come from the door. It came from my computer speakers. It was a voice I knew better than my own father's. It was deep, crisp, and laced with a calm, predatory disappointment. It was Marcus. The IT director. I know you're there, Robert, Marcus said, his voice filling the silent apartment. I can see your shadow on the wall behind you. Pick up the headset. I felt the blood drain from my face, rushing down to my feet and leaving me lightheaded. I walked toward the desk like a man walking to the gallows. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely grab the headphones. I pulled them over my ears. Marcus? I croaked. My voice sounded like gravel. Good afternoon, Sleeping Beauty, Marcus replied. On my primary monitor, a window was open. It wasn't my spreadsheet. It wasn't the quarterly analysis I was supposed to be compiling. It was a screen share. And on that screen share was a video feed of me. But it wasn't live. It was a recording. It was a recording of me, 3 hours ago, slumped back in my gamer chair, mouth open, snoring loud enough to distort the audio levels. What is this? I whispered. This, Marcus said, is a documentation of the most expensive nap in company history. Now, go answer the door, Robert. The gentleman outside is on a tight schedule, and he's charging us by the minute. Who is at the door? I asked, looking wildly between the screen and the hallway. That is the courier, Marcus said. He is there to collect the company laptop. And the monitors. And the dock. Collect them. Why? Because you don't work here anymore, Robert, Marcus said. And because I need to stop the data hemorrhage before you delete the rest of the Western Hemisphere's client list. Delete? I laughed, a nervous, high-pitched sound. I didn't delete anything. I was sleeping. Exactly, Marcus said. You were sleeping. But your mouse. Your mouse was very, very busy. I looked down at the mouse. It was resting on a folder icon labeled Q1_unsynced_backups. The folder was empty. My stomach dropped. That folder contained 2 terabytes of raw project data. Uncompressed video files, client financial records, the entire architectural framework for the new app rollout. It was the only copy. I had paused the cloud sync yesterday because it was slowing down my Call of Duty ping. Marcus, I pleaded, sweat breaking out on my forehead. I can explain. No, you can't, Marcus interrupted. But I can. And I'm going to enjoy it. But first, let the man in. He has a badge. The pounding on the door resumed. Bang. 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 I ran to the door. I unlocked it. A guy the size of a linebacker stood there. He wore a black polo shirt that said Secure Logistics and held a hardshell Pelican case. He didn't smile. He didn't say hello. He just looked at me with dead eyes. Robert? He asked. Yeah. I'm here for the hardware. Step aside. He walked past me, straight into the living room, as if he owned the place. He knew exactly where the desk was. Marcus must have guided him. I followed him in, my legs feeling like rubber. Wait, you can't just take it. I have personal files on there. The device belongs to the company, the courier grunted, unplugging my HDMI cables with efficient, brutal yanks. Robert, Marcus's voice came from the speakers again. Sit down. We're going to do a little exit interview while Kevin packs up your life. I want you to watch something. I sat on the edge of the sofa. Kevin, the courier, was dismantling my setup with terrifying speed. Look at the screen, Marcus commanded. I looked. The video feed changed. It wasn't me sleeping anymore. It was a screen recording of my desktop from 11 a.m. So, Marcus began, his voice taking on the tone of a narrator in a true crime documentary. At 10:45 a.m., we pushed a mandatory security update. It's a new protocol called liveness detection. We've had suspicions about remote employees using automation tools. The system flag went up for your ID almost immediately. On the screen, a large, red pop-up window appeared over my desktop. Security alert, suspicious activity detected. To verify you are present, please click the button below. The button said, I am human. Simple enough, Marcus said. If you were working, as your status claimed, you would have clicked it. The prompt stays for 5 minutes. If you miss it, it locks the screen. I watched the recording. The mouse cursor started to move. It moved in a tiny, jittery circle. Up, right, down, left. The classic Jiggler pattern. It hovered over the I am human button. Click. It clicked it. I clicked it. I shouted. See? I was there. Watch, Marcus hissed. The button didn't disappear. It moved. It jumped 5 pixels to the left. It's a CAPTCHA, Marcus explained. It moves. To prove you aren't a robot. Or a $20 piece of plastic vibrating on a desk. The mouse cursor didn't follow the button. It kept moving in its tiny, pre-programmed circle. Click. It missed the button. Click. It missed again. The jiggler keeps clicking, Marcus noted. Every 30 seconds. Relentless. Stupid. Then, the cursor drifted. The vibration of the jiggler on my slightly uneven desk was causing the mouse to slide. Inch by inch. Minute by minute. It slid away from the security prompt. It slid toward the desktop icons. It hovered over the folder Q1_unsynced_backups. Click. It selected the folder. No, I whispered. The mouse wiggled again. Click click. Double click. The folder opened. The screen was now filled with file rows. Client_database.sql, project_alpha_raw.mov. The mouse kept drifting. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion. It drifted to the top menu bar. Edit. Select all. You have got to be kidding me, I gasped. Oh, I wish I was, Marcus said. But here is where it gets interesting. At this point, the system flagged a critical I/O operation. I got an alert. I remoted in. I turned on your webcam to see who was trying to wipe the drive. The video feed split. Left side, my desktop. Right side, me, asleep in the chair. And, something else. Sitting on the desk, right next to the Jiggler, was Mittens. My cat. Mittens was staring at the mouse. He was fascinated by the rhythmic jiggle. Your cat, Marcus said, his voice dripping with disdain. Your cat is the accomplice. On the screen, Mittens reached out a paw. He batted the mouse. The cursor flew across the screen. It landed on the right-click menu. Delete. Mittens batted the mouse again. Click. A confirmation box popped up. Are you sure you want to permanently delete 4,200 files? This action cannot be undone. The default option was highlighted, yes. The Jiggler did its thing. It rotated. Click. The files began to vanish. A progress bar appeared. Deleting. I watched in horror as the bar filled up. Green. Steady. Irreversible. I screamed, Marcus said. I actually screamed into my headset at you. Robert. Wake up. But you. You just snored. You adjusted your neck pillow. Why didn't you stop it? I yelled. You're the admin. You could have killed the session. I tried. Marcus shouted back, losing his cool for the first time. But because you were working off the local drive, against policy, I might add, and you had disabled the cloud sync, also against policy, my remote kill command was queued behind the local delete operation. The system was too busy destroying itself to listen to me. You watched, I whispered. You just watched. I watched for 4 hours, Marcus said. The files were large. It took time. I watched your cat bet the mouse around while you drooled on your shirt. I watched our entire Q1 projection disappear into the digital void. And then, I called Kevin. Kevin, the courier, finished packing the monitors. He snapped the case shut. Click-clack. I need the badge too, Kevin said, holding out his hand. I reached into my pocket and handed him my ID card. Wait, I said, looking at the computer one last time. Can't we recover it? The recycle bin. The Jiggler emptied the bin, Robert, Marcus said softly. At 1:30 p.m. Mittens stepped on the enter key. I looked at Mittens. He was currently asleep on the top of the sofa, looking like an angel. Is there a backup? I asked, desperate. The server backup? You disabled the sync, Marcus reminded me. Remember? You sent an email last week complaining about bandwidth lag. You said you would manually upload at the end of the week. Today is Tuesday. I sank back into the sofa. 2 terabytes. Gone. So I'm fired, I stated. Fired? Marcus laughed. Robert, fired implies a standard termination. This is an execution. We are reviewing legal options. Gross negligence. Destruction of company property. Theft of time. Theft of time. You used a Jiggler. You defrauded us. You claimed you were working while you were sleeping. That is fraud. Kevin picked up the Pelican case. It looked heavy. Have a nice day, Kevin said. He didn't mean it. He walked out the door. The apartment felt suddenly empty. The white glow of the monitors was gone. The hum of the tower was gone. I was alone with Marcus's voice coming from my phone now, since he had disconnected the computer feed. Robert, Marcus said. Check your email. The personal one. I opened my phone. I refreshed my inbox. The email appeared at the top. From Legal Department, Logicorp. Subject, Notice of Termination and Demand for Restitution. Priority, High. I opened it. My thumb hovered over the screen, trembling. Dear Mr. Robert. This letter serves as formal notice of the termination of your employment, effective immediately, for cause. The grounds for termination include, but are not limited to, time theft, falsification of records, unauthorized use of hardware, mouse jiggler, and gross negligence resulting in catastrophic data loss. I skipped the legalese. I scrolled down to the bold text. Damages. The estimated value of the data destroyed, including billable hours required to recreate the client financial models and the cost of the delayed rollout, is calculated at $450,000. $450,000. I gagged. I actually gagged. While we are currently assessing whether to pursue a civil suit for the full amount, we are immediately withholding your final paycheck and all accrued vacation pay to offset a fraction of the damage. Furthermore, we are reporting this incident to the State Workforce Commission to contest any claim for unemployment benefits. I was broke. I was in debt. And I was unhirable. Did you read it? Marcus asked. His voice was tinny coming through the phone speaker. 400,000. I whispered. I don't have that, Marcus. I have $300 in my checking account. I know, Marcus said. But that's not the worst part. Look at the attachment. I scrolled to the bottom. Attachment, zoom_meeting_autorecord_clip.mp4. What is this? You know how you have auto-join enabled for team stand-ups? Marcus asked. And auto-video on? I felt a cold shiver. Yeah. The daily stand-up was at 2 p.m. While you were still asleep. While the deletion was at 99%. I clicked the video. The screen showed the grid of the entire team. 12 people. Sarah from marketing. Dave from sales. The VP of operations. And me. I was in the center square. Head back. Snoring. Wearing a stained t-shirt. But that wasn't it. In the video, I shifted in my sleep. I mumbled something. I turned the volume up. Screw the client. Sleep, Robert mumbled clearly. They can eat it. Then I scratched my stomach. My shirt rode up. I wasn't wearing pants. I was in my boxers. My hole-filled, cartoon-covered boxers. The team watched in silence. The VP of operations looked horrified. Then, mittens jumped onto my chest. I woke up for a split second in the video. I looked directly at the camera. My eyes were glazed. Wah! I slurred. Then I looked at the screen. I saw the deletion bar. Die, I muttered, hitting the keyboard with my fist before passing back out. The video ended. You told the computer to die, Marcus said. In front of the VP. While not wearing pants. And you admitted to hating the client. I was asleep. I shouted. I was talking in my sleep. It doesn't matter, Marcus said. It's on the record. It's evidence of malice. That clip is the reason legal is confident they can sue you for willful destruction. Marcus, please, I begged. Help me. You know I'm not malicious. I'm lazy. I made a mistake. Lazy is missing a deadline, Robert, Marcus said. Lazy is taking a long lunch. This is industrial sabotage performed by a cat and a vibrator. You're radioactive. What do I do? You start looking for a new career, Marcus said. Maybe something offline. Like landscaping. Or mining. Somewhere without keyboards. Is there any way to fix this? Can I try to recover the data? I have tools. You don't have a computer, Marcus reminded me. Kevin has it. And if you touch a keyboard in this building again, I'm calling the police for trespassing. Marcus. Goodbye, Robert. Good luck with the unemployment hearing. I'll be the one testifying. Click. The line went dead. I sat there. The sun was setting now, casting long, orange shadows across the empty spot on my desk where my life used to be. Mittens jumped up onto the desk. He sniffed the spot where the jiggler had been. He looked at me and meowed. He wanted dinner. You killed me, I told the cat. You literally killed me. He purred. I spent the next week in a haze. I applied for unemployment. Denied. Reason, misconduct. I tried to appeal. I went to the hearing. Marcus showed up on Zoom. He played the video. He played the clip of me in my boxers saying, "Screw the client." The judge laughed. He actually laughed. "Mr. Robert," the judge said, wiping his eyes. "You automated your own termination. Case dismissed. I sold my car to pay rent. I sold my gaming chair. I'm currently working at a warehouse. Lifting boxes. No computers. No Zoom calls. Just sweat and cardboard. It's hard work. My back hurts every day. But last week, I saw something on the news. Logicorp data breach, 2 terabytes of sensitive client data lost. They couldn't recover it. The Jiggler did a thorough job. They lost the client. Their stock dipped 10%. I felt a tiny, petty spark of satisfaction. But then I remembered the bill. The threat of the lawsuit. It's still hanging over my head. They haven't sued yet, but the statute of limitations is years. Every time the doorbell rings, I flinch. I think it's a process server. I bought a new mouse for my home laptop, a cheap Chromebook I use for job applications. It's a basic mouse. Wired. No batteries. And every night, before I go to bed, I unplug it. I put it in a drawer. And I lock the drawer. Just in case Mittens gets any ideas. So, tell me. Am I the monster for using a cheat code to nap through my job, or did the corporate machine just finally catch the glitch in the system?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.